Good morning. Well, this here may be a future project, but I am not 100% sure. This is a Sears Silvertone model 4236. And come to find out, Buzz 1151 restored the exact same thing, but at the time I commented on his video, I did not know the model number of mine, and his knobs are white. So I didn't think it was the same thing until I looked inside, took the chassis out, and on the back ventilation cardboard or pressboard cover was model 4236. And I saw the hard job he had to put belts in here. I showed last year a video of the one that I had and plugged it in, and it had a wicked hum, so it has some bad filter capacitors. And so unlike Buzz's, this needs electrolytics, but I don't see anything leaking out here on these cans. There is 2 electrolytic cans here, and there's one on each channel, the left and right channel. This is a 6EM7, not a very popular tube. But anyways, I saw what he had to do to change belts on this, and I don't know if I can tackle it. It requires very good eyesight. He had taken this out. He had taken the motor assembly out. He had taken the pulleys out. I don't know if it's even worth doing. I do have reel-to-reel tapes, but most of those have already been transferred to MP3s years ago. But I would like a working tape recorder, so I might try it. And from what I found out, all belts appear to be good except the capstan belt. It's a round belt, about an 1/8 inch in diameter, my estimation. And I look back on Buzz's 1151's videos on this that he made last July, and I think he mentioned it's a 10.5 inch belt. But it's not a matter of getting the belts, it's a matter of putting it in. With my poor eyesight, it's getting much harder for me to work on things like I used to be able to do. When Buzz did his video, his knobs are white. Of course, this record button is white. But his knobs here are white, so it appeared to be a different model. But anyways, upon looking at it, it's the same thing. Why the knobs are different, I don't know, but it also works in reverse. The take-up is on the left instead of the right. I remember Buzz commenting that. And when I put that on fast forward, which is going to activate this, I have drive, and you can see the motor turning. So that belt is good. When you put it into the play position, the take-up works good. When you put it into the rewind position, which is going to be here, you notice that this is working, okay? So all the belts work good except the round capstan belt. And like I say, this may or may not be a project. I got my feelers out there for getting a capstan belt, but getting it and putting it in is 2 different things. I've had cassette tape decks years ago, nice looking ones, that was such a SOB to put belts in that I just got rid of it. So I think we're just going to put this aside for now, but I did want to give you a little bit of a kind of like a show and tell here that I may or I may not attempt to replace the capstan belt. It also needs electrolytics. That's not a problem. The fuse is good in this one. I don't recall if the I-tube worked. It's got one of them horizontal blue display, bluish green display record indicator tubes, which I've always liked. A lot of your VM reel-to-reel machines had that particular type of I-tube. Okay, so that's really all I wanted to show you. And for now, is the cabinets down there with the speakers still in it. And it'll be sitting there until I decide whether I want to tackle the job or not. It might be something that's going to be too much for me to do because it involves removing this pulley, both of these, the counter pulley. Counter belt is still good, it turns the counter. The capstan belt, if I put my finger on the flywheel and try to turn this, it'll slip. It's very, very, very loose. I don't know. I can't hold the light and hold this too. But take my word for it. Try to turn the capstan flywheel. I'm turning it now. This is not moving. Now this should be moving. So it definitely needs a capstan belt, and I think that's all it needs. So it only needs that one belt. And I have to look back on Buzz's videos to find out what, might even be able to find out the part number. It's the belt that Buzz tried to glue together and did not work. But he ended up getting a belt for it. But like I say, I don't want to do anything like that until I make sure I can do the job. When you got bad eyesight, it limits you, as you well know. He had this out and out of the way. He had this off and out of the way. And he had this pulley off and out of the way. And probably this bracket. Now, this thing is sharp. Whenever I reach in there, I'm always getting, of course it's unplugged, but always hitting these sharp fins. So the best thing to do when you're working on this is to remove this fan, remove this bracket, because you got all these sharp edges here, you know. Oh, that's not a problem. The fan is the Phillips, Allen screw in there. So that shouldn't be a problem removing. But taking out the motor assembly and moving this out of the way could get more involved than it's worth, because the question I'm asking myself is it worth restoring? I paid $3 for this at the school flea market about 7 or 8 years ago, as I recall. And it sat in the big shed, and things got pretty rusty. Like up here, and so forth. I didn't have a big dampness problem as far as real bad corrosion, but things did get rusty. It's funny, they got a spring down here that holds up the wires, and I think that's the way it came. So yeah, they put a spring right here to hold up the wires. I'll put some light on the subject here. You can see another spring right down there that's rusty. But overall, the recorder isn't all that in bad shape. So that's it. I want to thank all the fellows that chimed in about the resistors. And yes, there is a breakdown voltage limit on resistors, and some of the fellows have given me information to that effect, but every resistor is different. I understand that. On this high voltage power supply, one of my viewers gave me a link on eBay to a 100 megohm 2.5 watt high voltage resistor, ohmite. I ordered it. It's a total of $4.95, counting the shipping. That's not going to put me in the poorhouse. And I'm going to get that. The next thing I want to get is some kind of a high voltage terminal strip. And I'll have to hunt around, see if I can find something like that. Because the input of this over here from the 4,000 volts goes on this terminal here, which would be okay. But for the 8,000, when it's in the voltage, when it gets to the voltage doubler part, it can't go on this terminal strip as I showed you on the other videos. So I'm going to need a separate terminal strip, probably about maybe an inch or 1.5 inches high, like porcelain maybe, that can screw into the bottom of the case, and I can use it as a tie point for my high voltage, the high voltage resistor, and the high voltage output lead. So it'll be a tie point for that. I can't use these type terminal strips. They're not made for 8,000 volts. Okay, so that's really it. I just wanted to show you that I've been busy doing different things. And cleaning the yard. It's an awful mess out there with the caterpillars, but it's getting less of a problem because the trees are almost totally bare over the cars where we park, so I don't get as much junk on the cars. A couple of trees in our backyard are almost totally bare. So there's still some foliage left, but the rain, what happens is the rain is we had a lot of rain, so what it's doing is bringing out more caterpillars. It's not, like I said before, that fungus is a lot of BS. There is no fungus that kills them. I don't buy into that. So we've got the worst caterpillar infestation that we've ever had in the 35 years that I've lived here. All right, so thank you very much for watching. Don't go away because there may be more videos coming your way to a computer near you. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good day, good night, good evening, good morning, good year. We'll see you.